Hello, everyone, and welcome to Irish Uncensored. I'm Grant, and this is
Tyler.
or the other way around. Either way, who gives a fuck? All right, so we're here to talk about the Ohio State game. We're going to get into what our thoughts, and then we're going to get into what we think going forward about Notre Dame and a little bit of the Marshall game. But we definitely don't know a ton about Marshall.
No.
So, no, not at all. Believe it or not, we're not big Marshall fans. But why don't you start out telling what you thought of Notre Dame against Ohio State?
I thought that there were parts that you and I were spot on about. I thought that there were parts that missed the mark. For example, I thought that our defense was better than I anticipated. Coming into a game where we were playing the second coming of the greatest offense in the history of college football since 2019 LSU, per
Yeah.
everyone. And we honestly shut them down. I mean, there's no other way. Shut down.
Yeah, our defense played really well. I wish we
But
could have
did
got a
you know that
turnover,
Smith
but
and Jigba was hurt? Did
no.
they?
No,
They
I don't think they ever said it, did
they
they?
never said that on TV ever.
So this is probably breaking news to you guys, but
Smith and Jigba was hurt.
he was hurt during the game. So that was definitely the reason they didn't beat us by 100.
Yeah,
But
all
I
their other
think
starters, they didn't
predict
miss Olave and Wilson at all.
our prediction wise, we were right about most things. We were right about our question marks being Buckner and our receivers. And I think the thing we were the most wrong about, or maybe the only thing we were wrong about, was our O line.
Yeah,
I don't think our O line looked good. I don't think they looked terrible, but I don't know, running the ball was a little questionable. I don't really know what to say about passing because we almost didn't give ourselves a chance to.
yeah, it was very very odd. Like for the amount, and I guess you know what, Blake Fisher missed most of last year, so I'm not specifically saying him, but I guess for what all was back on the O line with Josh Lugg,
Yeah.
I mean, Christophic started almost every game at the end of last year, like the back half. Joe Alt started almost every. I mean, for the amount of experience that we brought back on the O line, it was a little disappointing. The showing. I will say that I thought I know O line is a position that takes a couple games to like click. It just does. That's just kind of how it
Mhm.
works. You usually get better as the year goes on if everyone stays healthy. And you know, despite how much Jackson Smith and Jigba being out, that was important. And everybody knows that that was important when he went down. You know what else was important? Missing a first team All American offensive lineman. That was important.
Yeah.
And considering he's been basically a 4-year starter at ND, I think him being your most veteran and a first team All American may, I don't want to say outweigh Smith and Jigba because Smith and Jigba at least got on the field. But I mean, man, our O line might have looked a lot different.
Yeah, I was really surprised that Estime started, and he honestly looked pretty good. And then we had that big play down the sideline. I don't remember who caught it off the top of my head.
Styles,
Style. Yeah. So
his one catch of the game.
yeah, Buckner started 8 of 8 passing and finished 10 of 18 passing. So he didn't pass enough. Like last year, we were fucking slinging it around the field to anyone and everyone with Cone, like he was God's quarterback. And now we've got Buckner back there. And I mean, if he's not as good as Cone at passing, then we're in trouble just for the
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
And I know last year we started out the year with some very questionable O line play. So I'm
yeah.
hoping that is what's happening here and will improve as the year goes on because last year we majorly improved as the year went on. But we also were playing like that in wins. So I wish we could have found a way to win this game. I honestly don't know if this was actually our game plan going into the game to throw it 18 times, go quarterback draws on third and longs on just long fields, not move the ball down the field. But when we did, we were actually successful. We just didn't take any shots at all, not even 10-yard shots. But if that was our game plan, we were never going to win this game. If we played OSU 10 times in a row, they would beat us 10 out of 10 times with that game plan.
Yeah, it was disappointing in the sense because the thing is, there's no way that they thought like, okay, Smith and Jig was going to go down and we're going to hold Ohio State to 7 points. So that was your game plan and you held Ohio State 7 points. What did you realistically think like he was going, like what did you think the offense was going to do?
Yeah,
Because
the offense scored 21.
Yeah, I know
And
you didn't think Ohio State was scoring that few points.
honestly, I think they should have scored fewer. If we would have done fucking anything in the second half offensively, they wouldn't have had as many chances to score. So I think our offense blew it
Yeah.
for us, not our defense at all. Our defense did as
Oh,
good as they could have done. Obviously, they could have forced a turnover here or there, but how could you ever be mad at one of the best offenses in football scoring 21 points? But if you think as a Notre Dame fan or a football fan that 10 points against Ohio State at Ohio State was going to win that game, you're fucking stupid. Because we would never win that game with 10 fucking points. Never.
No, and I think that the game plan was, I'm not a football coach, but I think the game plan got changed. I think that they were surprised that we were up 10-7 and they just thought we could keep dicking around and
Dude, we wasted the whole third quarter.
like
How many yards did we have? Like 8 yards in the third quarter. It was something stupid like that.
Until Lindsey caught that bomb in the last seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, okay, we come out of halftime, and as you know, Tyler, because you were there, I stood the like entire game.
Yep.
Uh,
At home. We weren't at the game. At his house.
We come out and we literally force a 3-and-out in 45 seconds. Boom,
Yep.
just defense clicking on. We looked at each other and we were like, "This is it." Like we
were like, we need to do something offensively to put the pressure on. That was the moment of the game.
And Ohio State commits, what was it, 2 personal fouls
on
the same
They gave
play?
us 30 yards free.
Field
and
position.
We didn't come out with any points.
We did nothing. We ran the ball 3 times.
We might as well laid down and handed them the game. Like, honestly, if I was a coach, I would have been embarrassed to be out there to watch that happen. I would have been fired up. As much as Kelly has made himself look terrible, we needed somebody yelling over there, getting somebody hyped, because how do we get gifted 30 fucking yards in that situation while leading the number 2 team in the nation and not do anything, not even a field goal?
No, nothing. And
terrible.
I think like, this is the thing. I think Buckner has the skill. I
do
personally
too.
I think that Tommy was trying to protect him from the big mistake because the defense was playing so well. And I understand.
That's fucking stupid.
But it's a bad plan. When you play not to lose or not to make the mistake, that's when you lose. Like when you're up 10-7, let Buckner throw the ball, because if there was ever a time to make a mistake, it's when you're up 10-7. Like in the beginning of the second half, let the dude sling it. Open up the freaking playbook, bro. Stop running the damn ball. Because here's the thing. We didn't really establish the run. Like,
we didn't establish fucking anything.
There was no established run. Freeman's like, I want to run the ball. Cool, you wanted to, but you really didn't run the ball worth a shit.
No.
Every now and then you'd rip off like a 6-7 yard run, and that was the gist of it. Like there was
the second half was atrocious. The first half, I honestly, without that long pass in the very beginning of the game, and then us getting the ball back in decent field position, I don't know. I just think our offense looked terrible. So I'm really hoping for a big leap in this second game specifically, but as the season goes on. And I don't know what to expect from Buckner. I know you were talking about what Tommy Rees, he thinks he's good, he's protected him. Maybe he's not. Who knows? He was our question mark.
If he is not protecting him, if that
is Buckner, then we're in trouble.
I know there's a lot of RPOs, and I know that Buckner probably feels more comfortable as a runner.
Slow developing.
Man, we were doing like double play action.
Turtle shit slow.
They were in Buckner's face in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but that it was also the design of the play that like allows that, not just our O line.
Right. Well, and then part of me is like, okay, maybe Tommy called the right plays, but Buckner maybe did he not make the right read? Where was it covered? So he did make the right read. So then we just looked dumb because we kept running the ball on things that we were wanting to throw the ball on. Like, I don't know. I just felt like for the first play of the game, go for 54 to Styles, and then to not really ever look at him again, and then only target Lindsey a few times. You kind of force fed Mayer a little bit, but not really even. I mean, yeah,
No,
he caught the
not
ball.
really anyone.
And I mean, like you said, 18 passes.
Didn't
I
we
mean, what
throw it like
my
50
nephew's
something
Pee Wee team
times
throws the ball 8 times a game.
with Cone?
I'm pretty sure against Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
We literally aired
So
the ball out, and then we were playing not the same defense because Knowles wasn't there, but essentially the same defense. Like, and we did.
exactly. So what the hell happened?
I don't know. I really
But
don't. I would have loved to and they're like I said, they're the experts, and I would love to hear why. I would love to hear why, like an actual like why.
yeah. One
But
thing I said before the game is we need Buckner to be Everett Golson for us. He did like Everett Golson was good, but he was a playmaker.
yeah,
And that's what CJ was. And that's literally the only reason Ohio State won. He made two huge plays, and on both of those huge plays, they scored later in the drive.
yep.
Down
It
the
was like
sideline, like he was sacked, he was rolling around, and he made a huge first down. Like that's what we need from Buckner.
just on the money throws.
Yeah, just make a play. I think he made like one decent play where he was running to the left. It may have even been a designed run. I don't remember. And he got a first down on it. But we need a playmaker back there because we have a good defense. We've already proven that. But if we can get one or two plays, like that's the difference in the game. That's why Ohio State beat us.
Well, I'm glad you brought up when we were talking when you said about the Everett Golson because that game plan looked like some shit that was drawn up for Everett Golson because he can't throw the ball. He has a big arm. He's a playmaker, but he was never an accurate passer.
But he got the job done.
Right, but this is the thing. If Buckner goes 10 of 18 and we win the game, we're not saying shit about the play calling.
I
But
don't
that
know,
I'm just
man.
saying what I'm saying. What I'm
I don't
saying
know
here is
about that.
the game script itself, like it was called like Buckner he was an early enrollee. He sat all last year and played a fair amount himself. Like he's watching. It's the same kind of
Yeah.
offense. He's a QB1. Pretty much everyone knows it all summer and fall and everything. And that's what we rolled out with. You spent
Yeah, it
that much
was.
time preparing OSU and you rolled out an 18 and 3 of those passes came on the last desperate drive of the game. Like, do you understand that? Like we were down by 11 and we're trying to drive, he throws 3 times. Buckner threw 3 times. So 3 of his 18 passes were complete forces where Ohio State knew we were throwing the ball. I mean, it just a lot of it didn't make sense to me, but I digress.
Yeah, well, we can get into, I guess, what we expect now and move on from the Ohio State game. But I expect an improvement in the offense in general going forward. I mean, how could you not? If we're rolling out 10 points and throwing the ball 18 times all year, we're gonna go like 8-4.
Yeah. I
Maybe.
so obviously like Patterson had like a foot sprain. It was a pretty significant injury. I know originally he was supposed to be out, but now they're saying like they're expecting him to be a go for Marshall. And I just think in my head was could he really have not have played better than Christophic or Lug or Corral or like is there nothing we could have tried to do with him for Ohio State? But I also agree with you. Like I expect the O line if Patterson's back this week, and even if he's not, to take strides against Marshall um, to look better. I'm sure Harry Heastan got in their ass all week long because it was just not a good showing from the offensive line. It just wasn't. I mean, say what you want, it just was not a good showing.
I know Freeman said, I'm pretty sure it was Freeman. It might have been yesterday or today that they want to take more shots downfield in this next game.
Right.
So let's fucking see it. And are also is Estime gonna like play because he started and then just wasn't playing?
Yeah, that was weird.
Really weird.
He was super important because here's the thing: Ohio State was blowing us the f up, and Estime was just falling forward.
Yep.
When he would get 2 to 3 yards, it was like the most impressive 2 to 3 yard runs that you could see because they just could not get him down. And then
I really liked how we
out.
looked with him in. Not that Tyree and Diggs shouldn't play, but in that specific game, I don't really understand why we didn't bring him back.
Yeah. Especially when it was working. Like, I don't know. It was a frustrating loss, but playing them close is close enough to keep us in the playoff hunt if we win out. That's really, I mean,
we talked about this all last year too. It's all about making the playoffs. So like a loss, not really a bad loss. We didn't look terrible in the nation's eyes, I guess. It doesn't look like a top 4 team to me off this game at all, but we've got a long way to go. I'm just hoping we can get there.
I think we have a top 4 defense.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, obviously, we don't even have at this point. I wouldn't even say a top 20 offense. I mean, there needs to be huge strides of improvement, but overall, like we were talking, like I think, like you said, they will get better. It's just a matter of playing together in real, actual situations.
Yeah,
everything's gonna click. Everyone's gonna get more comfortable with each other. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and we say all this stuff, but really we're hoping for the best. And like as critical as I am, I do have to remind myself that was one game on the road at Ohio State. So we could, at night. So we could be way better than we looked. And we just had like one of those games where it just didn't click or we just didn't have it right when we needed to. It's also game 1 for Freeman. Like this was a big deal, just this whole game. So hopefully we're going to be better and just the one game is the one game and there'll be nothing to worry about. But Buckner scares me. I don't really know what to expect from him. Like I remember in 2011, all year I was talking about how Everett's going to be the guy next year, and he was. He did enough, and I don't know if Buckner is that guy. And it doesn't mean he's not great. It doesn't mean he can't get it done. But if we're going to win a championship or even be in the playoff, we need him to fucking be the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still have extreme high hopes. It's just crazy how like programs like Ohio State have just stumbled into quarterback after quarterback after quarterback.
That's what's so frustrating.
And it's like Notre Dame. I mean, you got a guy who's been in your system for a year and a half on the low end, really more like 2 years, and you come out and it doesn't look overly impressive. And I understand that it's difficult and there's a lot of factors that go into that, but I mean, shit.
I expect more out of Tommy too, because you got to think Freeman's new. Tommy's like the veteran now of of this fucking offense, the whole offense, the offensive scheme. But so he's got to be out there making big steps after game 1.
Yeah,
we need to run Marshall off the field. We need to come back. I think we play Cal after that. Gear up for who's our next big game? Is it Clemson?
Clemson's the next big one, and that's not until November 5th, I think. So it's a ways down the road, and by all accounts, we really should be one loss heading into Clemson, who, as crazy as it sounds, could be possibly undefeated and also have probably the best defense that we're going to play.
Yeah, it's funny because we just lost this game, and if we play it outright, our schedule is strong enough with top teams, hopefully by the time we play them, to where we will be in a position to still make the playoff if we can win and improve. But we can't do this again at Clemson, I tell you that.
No, no. And I don't think that DJ Uwangalele is going to be the quarterback by the time we get there. I think they're going to be starting another freshman. That Cade Klubnik kid he's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And Dabo's already shown that he's not afraid to pull a vet for a
Yep.
younger, more talented guy. And I think that's what will end up happening. And I hope it doesn't, because he's a little one dimensional. He's not overly fast. He doesn't run the ball extremely well. Like it would give us a good shot to win. But I think either way, our offense has to be a lot better going into Clemson, or we're going to get our shit kicked in.
Yeah, I'd love to see us create a turnover or two, get to the quarterback even more, because Ohio State's O line was pretty strong. Like we did a good job getting back there, but we couldn't bring him down.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have high hopes. I still think we could be a playoff team. If I had to bet today, I'd say fuck no, but I think we could.
Yeah.
But that's just today. That's only today. Like time changes a lot of things.
Run through the quarterbacks we play, dude. We play CJ Stroud, who's a bona fide first round pick. We're going to play Uwangalele or Klubnik, which Uwangalele tore us up as a freshman. We're gonna play Phil Dracovic, who honestly he could get first round hype if he has a good year. I mean, he's a dude. Caleb Williams. I mean, the quarterbacks we play alone this year are better than anybody else's schedule. Anybody's. Doesn't matter who it is.
Well, then we get to see who Buckner compares to all year. Yeah. Like if he gets out, it'll really suck if he doesn't really have big games, and then the other quarterback does.
Yeah.
So that would be a terrible mirror.
Well, it'll be blaringly obvious because Dracovic could literally still be at Notre Dame. Like, we could have had some Phil Dracovic the last 2 years, but
yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It sucks. That's what I have to say about that. I just want us to be in the hunt, and I'm so afraid after the first game that we're not gonna be. And it's all perspective. It's the OSU game, but I'm afraid. There's no doubt about it.
It's just so hard because as a Notre Dame fan, it's always like, wait till next year, and we're literally one slip up away from wait till next year. I mean, it's a very sick feeling.
Last year we should have been in the playoff. I know we weren't good enough to win it, but we should have been in it if we fucking win that game.
Cincinnati, man. Fuck.
Yep. Oh, so frustrating. I don't, and we already have a loss. I know it's like it's a loss that doesn't hurt us too bad, but it does if we lose again. And that's what really matters. So we're playing behind the 8 ball right now, and we're in a position where it's okay if we can win. But if we get a bad loss to a random fucking team or have one bad week, that's it. There goes the season for another fucking year.
Yep, that's how it goes. And I mean, kind of like turning our attention towards Marshall, like. I know they made a bowl game last year. I know they're 1-0. I know their defense is full of vets. Like, they're a pretty old defense. I'm excited to see what offensively we cook up. Their offensive line is pretty young. I mean, it could get ugly for them if our D-line comes to play hungry. Like, it really could get ugly. And I think the spread's like plus 18. Hope you guys took the line last week because I made some money.
Yeah, Marshall will come in hungry as fuck. That's what every team does against Notre Dame. No one outside of Notre Dame ever factors that in. Like everybody comes into Notre Dame like it's their Super Bowl.
We could have a schedule like Michigan this year and open up Colorado State and then play Hawaii and then UConn and then I don't know who, but open with 4 home games. That would have been nice.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's about all I have to say. Do you want to make a prediction for the game?
I think we roll them. Irish by 21. I'm going to go. Gosh, it feels sad to only say this much, but I'm going to go 35-14.
I was going to say 35-20. And if that is the score, I'm scared for this year. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping I'm wrong. I hope we fucking blow them out. I
we
hope they
should
score
we should
3
hang 40
points.
on them. We
Yeah.
should hang 40 on them. They shouldn't even score 14 points, but
I I hope it's like 44 to 3. Realistically, that would be my hopeful score, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm really fucking scared on the offense. We need to come out swinging and we need to come out completing passes. Mayer needs to be a man out there. Lindsey needs to prove something still.
Braden Lindsey's third year on gonna be a beast.
Dude, I'm ready. Let's see it. Like he can do it. He's got the skills and speed, or at least he should, from everything we've heard.
Yeah, I mean we just didn't get to see a whole. As sad as it is, we didn't get to see a whole lot against Ohio State offensively. I
Dude,
mean,
we didn't even see anything.
the passes were. I mean, don't ask me why. No offense to Matt Salerno, but don't ask me why we took 2 deep shots to Matt Salerno. Like he caught one, I get it, but come on, come
Yeah,
come
I
on.
agree with that, but at the same time, he kind of looked good out there.
I'm not saying he's
It's
not.
it's hard.
You should have better options. You're playing fucking Ohio State.
I agree.
When you
I
do have
completely
better
agree,
options,
but I mean, if he's gonna go out there and make plays, it's hard. It's really gonna be impossible for me to ever question it because he made more plays than the rest of our fucking team.
yeah. I mean his catch was insane. And like I said, I have nothing against Matt. Extremely hard worker, a talented dude. Obviously, that's why he's on scholarship now. But holy fuck, Tobias Merriweather, where are you?
Yeah,
Like
well, let's hope
all we hear
Salerno like
all
steps up and
is
is the guy because we need the guy. We don't really have that in our wide receiver core, so maybe he will step up and be the surprise guy. I know you're like rolling your eyes at that, but you never know where it could come from.
yeah. If it comes from Matt Salerno, we're in way bigger trouble than we think.
Well, it hasn't come from Lindsey, and that's who we expected. So
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic still. I want to win a big game this year. Clemson, if we don't win Clemson this year, I don't give a fuck if it's Marcus Freeman's first year coaching or not. Win the shit. Like we're done with
yeah,
this. We're done with moral victories. We're done with keeping it close. You need to beat Clemson. That's it. Point blank. If you don't beat Clemson, I don't give a fuck. Nothing's different, in my opinion. Then nothing's different. The culture might feel that we're still losing big games. I don't give a fuck if it's the first year or not. If we walk out there to the Clemson game with the same team and they're as healthy as they were going into Ohio State, we better fucking win.
yeah, it's sad to say, but that really is how it is in football or in sports in general these days. Like you don't get that 4 game little leeway or that one season where you can just see how it goes, especially at Notre Dame. Like this is fucking big time. You're the guy now. Like you're one of the most famous coaches in college football, believe it or not. And he's never been a head coach in college football.
Yep.
You got to
And we're
go
sitting
out there
here
and do it.
with a loss to Oklahoma State and a loss to Ohio State. And I mean, I know if people don't want to count Oklahoma State, I count that. I count it.
Yeah, I count it too because I think we
You
should have
had a
won, and
whole
I,
month
I
to
think he's
prepare.
part of the reason we lost, or someone is. One of the coaches is.
A whole month to prepare, and we didn't beat Oklahoma State after being up 28-7. I
Yep.
mean, I'm just calling it what it is, man. He's 0-2 in big games.
Yep. And that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Like that sucks, but at the same time, we're at the very beginning, so I'm not going to hold it against them
Oh
right
no!
now.
I'm
If
just
he continues this trend, then I will. But right
what would
now,
you
it's
say if we lost
okay.
to
But
Clemson?
we need better. We need to do
What would
better.
you say? What would you say if we lost to Clemson?
I don't know. That's a long way away with a lot of things happen. Because what if we lost before Clemson too?
I mean, that would just make me more mad.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't just project how I'll feel on
But you
something
know
when
what?
there's so many factors.
If we lost elsewhere and beat Clemson and beat USC, and you know what I'm saying, I would feel better going into next year having those wins than. I mean, you got to beat quality. Like
Yeah, that's a lot of projection, but we're just spewing out, beating
Yeah,
random teams and losing to other random. Like we don't really know.
I know.
Because I tell
I
you what, as soon as we lose, then we're just the spoiler team. And it would be fun to be that. And if we could be like, that's a whole different dynamic of like thinking.
Yeah,
And also the pressure goes away. In my opinion, as a coach, as a player, I'd go from, oh, we're playing for a natty to, oh, who fucking cares? Let's go win. Like
right.
that would be my mindset.
Yeah. I think we can close it out. One loss. I think we can. If our offense gets it together and our defense stays healthy, watch the fuck out.
It's a lot of ifs, but we'll end it here. We're going in circles a little bit now, but it's just been a lot of talk. This is what we do like more often than we probably even need to talk about Notre Dame. But you know, we've been doing it for how many years now? Fucking 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
We're old.
Old as shit.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think down below. We also have our Facebook page. Please like and subscribe to this video and go to our Facebook page, Irish Uncensored, and join. And you can talk shit about Notre Dame or whatever else. That's the whole point. It's uncensored. You can speak your mind and not feel like you're going to get kicked out. But I'm Tyler.
Grant,
And go Irish.
go Irish.